Hello, you guys. Well, this is it. Whoops. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing myself twice. How am I supposed to do that? There you go. Okay. I think it's good. All right. So let me know if you're there and you can answer this question. Where are you watching from and what is the weather over there? And if you are part of the rewatch crew, just jump in and answer the question and I will read the comments later on. So you might be watching me looking at different screens here. Hey, Chris. Hello. So are you getting ready for a ride today? I know it's very early where you are. Okay. So it's sunny. I'm sure it is. Like it's the California side of Canada, right? Okay. Well, here in Quebec, it's cloudy as usual. And it's a 23 Celsius degree. Hopefully, I may be able to ride later today. So here's the plan today. I have my notes for this slide. So first, I'm going to answer your question if you have any, and we're just going to hang out like we are around the campfire. So that's the plan for today. And also, I want to bring you in the loop of what's coming up with Western Road this year. So there will be the next road trip, the newsletter, the merch, and the new style videos that I'm going to make this year. So and see who's around. So I'm really looking forward to see what you think of this new kind of videos I'm going to make. I'm really turning things around this year, and I'm looking forward to see what your comments are here. So we've got someone from Belgium. So if you don't know that, I'm originally from Belgium. I immigrated to Canada when I was 30 years old, so that was 20 plus years ago. But I'm originally from Belgium. I'm from Liège, and yeah, it's raining in Belgium. I'm going to put the comments here. Hold on. So here, hello from Belgium about the weather. Too much rain for the past few months. Yeah, I've heard about that. Well, it's raining a lot in Belgium, anyways. I remember that. Hey, Judith is there. Hello. Are you going for a ride today? Is it sunny over there? I think you are in the Montreal area, Judith. Is that right? And we have Real Riders podcast from Germany, 20 degrees and partly sunny. And Stephen is Kampala, Uganda. Oh my God, you really are coming from all over the place. And I know there are lots of people from around the globe that are sleeping right now. So you will be able to watch this when you wake up. Okay. So the next road trip. Okay, so I'm going to try something difficult here and I'm going to try to share my screen. The thing about those live stream is that you cannot practice in advance. You have to really do it one first time to see how it goes. Chris knows about that because I mean, those things can be confusing. So let me try to share my screen here. Hold on. There you go. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. I have a delay. I'm trying to watch. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I actually gave names to my trips. Do you guys give name to your motorcycle? Do you? Because I do. And I also give names to my trips. So the first trip that you watched on my channel was the Dragon trip. And it was called the Dragon because the notorious Tale of the Dragon was one of the pit stop on this trip. So that's why I called it a Dragon trip. And then last year we had the beer trip in the Canadian Maritimes, and I called it the beer trip because the plan was to stop at many breweries along the way. It actually didn't end up that way, but that was the plan. So this is why this is the beer trip. And this year it's going to be the lake trip. And guess what? That's because I'm going to ride around the lake. So that's the next trip for this year. Um, let's see the question again. Okay, so Judy is gonna do a small ride today, but you're sick. Sorry about that. Hope you're getting better. SRL, hey, hello. The Great Lakes, yeah. I'm gonna tell you, yeah. So I'm gonna stop sharing this one. Stop sharing. There we go. Um, Now, to be fully transparent with you guys, compared to the other trips that I've made so far, I have no expectation whatsoever on this trip. I don't, which is a great thing because maybe I'm going to be blown away and the lakes are going to surprise the hell out of me. So maybe that's what's going to happen. And also, I'm doing something different this year. Usually, I do my trips in late June, early July, and this year I'm going to do this in August for two reasons. First reason is that hopefully construction zones will be no more in August and maybe less rain as well because I've had a lot of rains in my trip, so I'm trying this year. Okay, we'll see how it goes. And cloudy in New Hampshire. Okay, so the first video about that trip will be out in January. So what videos am I going to do between now and then? Well, I'll tell you later. At the end of the video. Okay, so the second topic I wanted to tell you about is the newsletter, and a lot of you already signed up. Thank you for that. And you received the first one on Friday, and it's going to be a bi-monthly newsletter. So why am I doing this? Well, I do actually a lot of research about motorcycle touring, and I come across some interesting things, and I just want to share them with you guys. So that's basically the goal of this newsletter. And the newsletter will cover three topics every time. So the first topic will be news about Dustin Road, and the two other topics will be shout out to other motor travelers or news from motorcycle brands or whatever I find about motorcycle touring. And pretty much everything that I find that makes me go, oh, that's cool. I'm just going to share it with you guys. And if you find anything that you think might be interesting for the newsletter, just put me in the loop and send me an email, and I might include it in the newsletter. And by the way, Chris, I'm going to include your Get Lost Find Yourself event, so we'll talk about that. But for sure, I want to share that with my crew. And Chris, I have no idea what the high route and the low route is, so you will have to let me know. But again, the thing is, I'm going to share this again. Hold on, because maybe if you've done this before, you can. Okay, so if I can I? Oh, I cannot go any. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Here. So this trip is actually going to be the biggest trip so far because usually it's more like 6,000 kilometers or 4,000 miles. This one is really big. And I wanted to do more roads in, not on highways and all of that. But I mean, it's a big, big loop. So there are many roads that I wanted to include, and I cannot include them because it's going to be way, way, way too long. Um, but yeah, if you have any tips for me for that trip, I'm going to take them. So Chris is saying, how was via Canada and is via US or the other way around? Okay, so I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to go west um, on the Canadian side, and then I'm going to go down and east back home in the US portion. That's what I'm going to do. Is it the right way? Let me know. Okay. All right. So the other topic I wanted to share with you is the merch. I've actually been working on this um, the whole winter because there is a lot of things that goes behind the scene that you don't see. And I've been doing this the whole winter, but it's actually not going to come out before the next winter because it's a really long process. It takes a lot of things. I'm actually going to do every single thing myself. Um, but from now on, I'm going to include you in the process. You're going to be part of it. Um, I I want you to witness um, how it develops and how it grows. And because I'm doing everything myself, I'm going to share a lot of pictures with you guys and videos about um, how I do this. And I'm calling this merge, but it's really more than that. To me, it goes beyond. I want to create a brand that tells a story. And from watching my videos, you know that I'm really all about storytelling, and this is what my what I want my brand to look like. I really want to express what motorcycle touring, um, exploring on two wheels, riding outside your box really makes you feel. This is my goal, this is my mission, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a while before I actually can put my vision, into designs, especially since I'm going to do it all myself. I'm going to do the design, the printing. I bought a heat press, so I'm going to do it myself. I'm a creative, so I need to do stuff myself. I'm going to do the packaging, the shipping, and all of that. So that's why it's taking a long time because there is a lot of logistics into that. So I'm taking my time to do it right, and also because during the summer I won't ride. I can only ride 6 months a year, so I don't want to work on that during the riding season. And at some point, of course, I will hire a professional designer to help me really bring to life what I envision. But for now, I'm going to do things myself and see how it goes. I'm going actually to print a few design um, this summer to test it out myself, try the material and all of that. And then the shop will open somewhere during the winter. Yes, looking forward to that. So I already worked on some designs, and there are a lot of motorcycle merch and brands out there, and I love lots of them. But even if I like the design, they don't really necessarily. I cannot really relate to them because of the message. So I'm really trying to do something around motorcycle touring because I don't think there is any brand that really convey that message. So this is really what I'm focusing on, and really the storytelling and what motorcycle touring can do to yourself. So that's my main focus really. And why it is taking so much time is because I'm really working hard on the packaging thing. I know that you like my editing style. I know because you tell me almost every single time I have a video out, and thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And yeah, the editing and the storytelling is my thing, and I want actually the packaging. I want it to feel like and look like my editing. So that's why I'm working hard on this. And so there we go. It's coming up soon. I'm looking forward to share that with you guys. I'm going to share it on the community feed in YouTube. And this year, I'm actually going to be really, really present on the YouTube feed. You might get sick of me because I'm gonna put a lot of quiz and polls and questions, and I'm gonna keep you in the loop of that merge that I'm creating, and I'm going to be a lot more present than I've been so far. Nevertheless, I'm still going to publish once a month because that's pretty much logistically all I can do. So I'm gonna keep with that schedule. And so yeah, about the videos. So this year, I'm really switching gears. I am going to publish different videos that I've published so far. So in addition to the travel vlog videos, I'm going to publish more informative videos about motorcycle touring, but it's not going to be reviews and packing lists and all that. There's lots of other channels that do that, and they do that really well. I'm going somewhere else. And um, I'm really going to double up on the editing style and the storytelling because I think it's my brand. So I'm really going to double up on that and really go. I'm going to go my way. I'm really doing things like um, represent myself, and I want this video to provide information um, about motorcycle touring, but in a very creative way. I want to do it in a documentary style. It's very much my focus. So I'm going to share my point of view, but I'm going to add facts about topics surrounding motorcycle touring, and many of them will be presented in a battle kind of way. So, for example, the very first video that I'm going to release in June is going to be a battle between solo touring and group touring. And it's not really a battle for me. You know where my heart is. I'm a solo traveler, but I promise I'm going to be very objective and I'm going to give you both sides. But it's really going to be in a documentary style. So I'm really looking forward to see um, what your comments are. And there's something I want to share with you because I know that you like the travel vlog videos, and I was thinking, well, I'm going somewhere else, so are you guys going to like it? And a few months ago, I asked a question in the YouTube feed, and I was asking, what, how can I improve the video? Where should I go? And I was asking you your advice, your comments on that, and should I do it differently? And there is one of you, John, who will probably be part of the rewatch crew because he's pretty far away. But here is what he said. He's a philosopher of the crew. Um, hold on. He said, "Whatever makes you smile when making these films, make the film smile. And guess what? Then we smile." John, that's shit. And that's very true. And it is exactly what I'm going to do. I think those next videos are really going to represent who I am. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to be myself as a creative. I'm not going to try to do what I think will bring me subscribers. I'm not going there. I'm really going to express myself as a creative and as a motor traveler, and I'm just going to do it myself. And the editing is it takes a lot of time. That's why I cannot publish more than one videos because I take a lot of time making those editing. But I'm passionate about that, and I just want to keep doing it the way I do it. And yeah, that's it. It's really way for me to expressing myself. And as John said, if I feel good about those videos, I'm sure other people will. And that's just the way I should do it. I'm not going to sell anything. Well, yeah, my merch at some point, but I'm not going to talk about products and all that in this video. It's really going to be about how I view things on certain topics and bring facts and really present it like uh, an investigation. And if you don't know, I'm a criminologist, so I work in the law enforcement. I'm not a police officer. I'm a civilian, but that's my thing. I analyze. I'm a strategic and tactical analyst. So, and I do a lot of research for my job, and I kind of want to take these skills um, in Dustin Road and take the editing style, the storytelling style, and add this investigative and documentary kind of style all blend together. So I can't wait to publish the first one and see how you react. I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. I have a clear vision of how I want to look it. I want them to look. As you can see, English is not my first language, and it's easier in my videos because I can always take double takes. I cannot hear, so that's why it's harder. And also, this live stream, I've been teaching for years. I've been teaching at university and college, literally in front of hundreds of students at time in a huge class, and I don't have any problem with that. But this, no, this is nerve-wracking. It's really hard. So yeah, I'm really looking forward for you to see the first video, and I want you to be brutally honest with me and just really tell me how you like it because it's going to be different. Well, maybe it's not going to be that different because my style is still going to be there. I will be writing actually when I'm making this video, so it's kind of a vlog, but not a vlog. So I'm going to, mix things together. I think I really want to take the best of each world and blend it together and see how it comes out. Okay, so very good advice. I guess you're talking about John's advice, and yeah, John's session today. I'm glad you joined. Yeah, I don't know. We are a small group, but it doesn't matter. I know it's because I have so many viewers that are from different parts of the world. It's impossible for me to pick a schedule where I will, have most of you guys. But um, the main goal was really to give you the news, tell you what's coming up, and just, let you know. I really want you to be included in what I'm doing. And as I said, I'm going to be much more present in social media, and I'm going to share with you the process of what I'm doing. And and because I'm a solo writer and I do this all by myself, it's really my way to. It's you're really my crew. You are. And as I said in my last video on the last leg of the race of my last trip, um, you are partners in crime. You really are. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate the comments. And I know you see that I put my heart in it. I see the comments, and I really appreciate everything um, that you do for me. I really do. Can't wait to see the new style. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So there you go. It's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys. If you have questions, now is the time. And otherwise, I will see you on the social media for those who are not subscribed to. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, but really, this YouTube crew is my main crew. This is where I'm going to publish everything in the community tab. Um, and I will let you know of every single thing that happened with the merch and everything else. And I'll see you on the next one. So, Critter, yes. And Chris, I've seen you've blown away on YouTube recently. So, if you don't know Critter, his name is Chris. He's on the Vancouver Island. He has a dual sport um, adventure channel, and he's on Vancouver Island, and he does all kinds of different videos, and he has a great community, and it's about a lot about mental health, men's mental health, and he's going to have an upcoming event which is called "Get Lost, Find Yourself." I love the name of that event. So I'm going to share with you guys, anyways, on YouTube and the newsletter information about that upcoming event. It's really, really cool. Okay, so a question here. You create all your content single handedly. I do. This is exhausting. And this is why at one point, I guess I will be able to, what's the word in English? Give a few to other people. But I'm a creative. That's who I am. Before everything else, I'm a creative, and I will never give the editing, even though I swear a lot while I'm editing because it's sometimes it's really painful. But I will never give that to someone else. I would give, administrative part of the stuff, but the editing is what I like the most, and it's really my brand. It's my trademark, so I'm always going to keep that. But yeah, I do everything myself, and I love learning. And when everybody who's like Critter, he's on YouTube for longer than I am, and um, people who are not on, don't have a YouTube channel and going with, they don't know how much work goes into that. Um, it's just crazy. You have to have like 25 different jobs in one person, in order to run a YouTube channel. It's just crazy the amount of work that goes into that. And and it takes years. It takes years to grow. So Chris, I think you had Chris like 2,000 subscribers, and in the blink of an eye, he went up to 6,000. And and the thing is that with YouTube, you don't know why. There is no explanation. For some reason, it blows. So um, when is it, Chris? The upcoming event? Yeah, we all do curse while editing. God, this is so hard. So it's a ton of work. Question: how do you manage family life? I don't. Yeah, I have well, most of people on YouTube who have a channel have a full-time job. So I have a full-time job, and my kid is 14. Um, I have her 1 every 2 weeks. So, but I really work. This YouTube thing is literally a second full-time job. I work nonstop. I work a lot. So I work mostly when she's not there. So when she's there, I have time for her. But then she's 14. She's in her room most of the time, so she doesn't care. But yeah, it's tough because it takes time to grow. Um, but there is a time where I thought, well, because when you are documenting a travel like that, it takes away from the enjoyment of the trip. And I question myself, do I really want to put myself through all of this? And the answer is yes, because I would get totally bored if I didn't have to film myself during the trip. So yeah, I just love too much doing that, even though sometimes it's hard and you don't see the end of it. But every time I post a video and I read your comments, yeah, every time it's just worth it. It really is. Why did you decide to do your YouTube channel in English? Yeah, so I'm obviously French speaking. Um, so when I started, I had a Facebook page, and it was in French. Um, I was in a lot of Facebook groups about motorcycle touring in Quebec, so people knew me, in French. It's just to reach more people. It's really that, and also I just love speaking English, even though I'm not perfect at it. But I lived in the States, in San Francisco when I was 17. This is where I learned my English. So my English is actually more American than Canadian. And I'm from Belgium anyway. I'm Canadian now. I have the citizenship. So it's really because I love the language. I think it's way easier to express yourself in English. We might disagree on that. Um, maybe a touchy subject, but I just love the language. I actually dream in English. I think in English, even though I'm French. So it's a language that is just natural to me, and it's so that I can reach people. September, but it's sold out. God, in 24 hours. That's awesome. And also, Chris managed to have tons of sponsors. It is and like big ones. I think Revit is in it, and he didn't even reach out to most of them. They reached out to him, and why? Well, because it's a great cause. It's just the community he has. You really have to go check out his channel, and go in the community tab, the community, and it's just the cause is there, and it's just beautiful to watch. I really enjoy the crew he's been growing on YouTube. It's just wonderful. Hey Ray, what's up? What is the weather over there in South Carolina? Yeah, well, the accent, well, you have to live with it, right? Sometimes, well, as you see in my bloopers at the end of my video, sometimes I have to take triple and quadruple takes. But yeah, I did my YouTube in English for pretty much the same reason. Yeah. Well, in French, I think you will have well, Quebec, you will have France, you will have Switzerland, some different countries in Europe and in Africa, but that's pretty much it. And really, it's I think to me it's to reach more people, but it's also because I really enjoy the language. As I say, it's easier. A lot of rain in South Carolina. Well, good for you. You deserve some, you guys. You always have nice weather. But when I was in South Carolina and North Carolina in, in the Dragon trip, yeah, I mean, you guys can have heavy rain during the summer. It's crazy, but like hot rain, um, Critter, you, your Critter was the first to subscribe to the newsletter, and he's the first one with a super chat. Thank you so much. Chris, how many days in advance plan you your tours? Days, I think months would be the right answer. I usually do that in winter. I do a lot of my stuff in winter because we cannot ride. And to make things clear, because when I post stuff about me not riding during the winter, you have to understand, well, winters in Quebec are brutal first, but it's actually in Quebec. And I think it's the only place probably in the world that does that. In Quebec, it's illegal to drive with a vehicle without winter tires. So it's not about motorcycle, it's about winter tires. And I think there is one brand that make winter tires for motorcycle, but because there is one person in a city in Quebec, every year he rides his bike during winter because he has winter motorcycle tires. If you don't, it's just illegal, and it's I mean it wouldn't be fun anyways. So I do a lot of my planning in winter. This year I've just finished my planning, but I do that months in advance. And I I because I'm so tight, I would drive maybe 500 kilometers a day. So the schedule is quite tight, and I have chosen to book the lodging in advance as well, but I always book lodging that I can cancel, a couple of days before. So, but so far, the trip that I've made, so you have two trips on the channel, but I've made a few of them before I created my channels. I've always been able to stick to the plan. Uh, you understand what I mean because there is a lot of things happening in my trips, but I've always been able to stick to the kilometers and the lodging and all of that. Any issue with that. So I do plan that a lot. I do research a lot on lots of different websites and a motorcycle group to see what the best roads are. And my the Dragon trip in Tennessee and North Carolina and Virginia, I was alone of the time on the roads. I don't know where those motorcyclists were on the highways, I guess, but I never take highways. I take back country roads, and I'm alone most of the time. So my goal is really to take those twisty roads. This is what I like. Um, so yeah, months in advance. Chris, it's important to support those who support you. I appreciate all of your support. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's um, and there is this the YouTube creators. They don't. There is no competition between one another. We really support each other. I really love this community. It's just great. Um, Judith, I don't want to ride my bike in future because all of the salt they put on the road. Well, even if you want it, Judith, it's legal. You can't. Any plans on a different bike? If you could, what motorcycle would you buy tomorrow? Well, Critter, should I really talk about this? Have, Chris, because I have a BMW, right? And Chris, his last video was about, I think it was a GS, was it? A video, and it was not really positive. By the way, I think it's great that you published it and you were really transparent. So I've had lots of different bikes. My first bike was a Yamaha V Star, uh, a custom bike, and it looked like 25 years old, and it had nothing. It had no heart. It was horrible to ride for as a first bike. It was really heavy, and in French we call it it's like a boat bike. And in Quebec, before you can have your full cycle license, during 1 year you have to have ride partners. You cannot ride by yourself, which is ridiculous, but now it's over. But at the time, you needed to have a partner. And partners that I found were on sport bikes. And I had to, so I learned the hard way, God, because I had this bike. Then I had another custom bike, which was actually an S. So it's a custom bike, but with a sport behind it. I had that bike for 3 years, absolutely loved it. Then I have the Triumph Tiger 900. I did some off-road with it. Was not very successful at that, and I had my big crash on that bike. Um, and then I got this one. Uh, I Maybe someday I will go back to adventure bikes, but I had such a bad experience with the off-road thing. I mean, it was bad. I really had a really bad experience, and yeah. So I don't know if I will be because I'm really traumatized by that. So and that happened in my trip. I had to do a gravel and dirt road and all that. So it really forced me to face my fears, but it's getting better. But I'm really traumatized about what happened off road. So I don't think I will ever fully recover from that. I don't think I will be able to really go off-road without having really, really bad anxiety attacks. I've never had any anxiety attacks in my life except in those circumstances. So yeah, I don't know. So I absolutely am in love with this bike, and I'm not a brand bike girl. I don't care. It's a BMW and it's a cheap one, right? It's like half the price of the bike you made a review on. It's um, So I've had different brands. I don't care about the brand. I didn't buy it because it's BMW. I just fell in love with it without I didn't even try it when I got it because I still had my two arms in cast. I had my accident and I just for some reason felt in love with it. And it's a totally different riding position that I had. So I didn't know if I would like it. And I totally love this bike. It is so powerful. After my crash, it was the perfect bike to regain my confidence. It is, even though it's more a sport bike, it's a roadster, it's a naked sport bike. It is amazing on road trips. I can trust this bike fully. It can manage any type of roads. God, I just absolutely love this bike. So I have a few years. I have to pay it for a few more years. So I'm stuck with this bike for a few more years. After that, I don't know. I just really like that type of bike, whatever the brand. So yeah, for now, I'm really, really enjoying this bike. It's giving me more than I asked for. So mm, yeah, no. Uh, I've been camping. My when I was a kid, we did camping for I did camping for like 15 years in my life. I you know I do not, Chris. I I don't care. If I did do some off road, I don't care about the mud and I've been riding in all kinds of conditions. I don't care about that. But at the end of the day, I want a bed. That's what I want. So yeah, sure, Chris. Okay. What heat press did you buy? That's option that you will do it yourself. I have option. Do you? Oh, you do. You do merch with your brand, or so it's a 12 by 12. I don't remember the brand I have, but I will send you a picture. So I did a few tests on it because I already tested the blanks. So I bought tons of blanks because I wanted to test the color, the material, and all of that. I really want to have a product that I will be happy to wear myself. And I did some tests with the dress. It's so fun to do. I just really, really love it. So yeah, I will send you a picture. Oh, you're in Gatineau, Ottawa, so it's not illegal where you are. I thought for some reason you were around Montreal, so you are allowed to ride in winter. Well, good for you. I miss my Triumph Tiger and I great motoring gear riding. So yeah, the is a yeah. The so Critter did a review on. I'm not sure if it's on the bike you're talking about, but he was talking about the clunkiness of the gearbox, and I agree. Even on my BMW, so I have, yeah, I agree. First to second is a bit weird, but yeah, for sure. I mean, those bikes are great for touring. Yeah, it is very planted. The center of gravity on those bikes are really, really low, and well, my bike is different from the one you tried, but the geometric of those bike are, I think, spectacular. Just and I totally understand what you meant. Like you really need a rough. You want a rougher bike. This one is too smooth for you. I totally get that. Yeah, it is. BMW are really smooth, and the geometric is just insane. The braking is amazing, and this bike is just there to respond to what you ask. It 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 just wants to lean. Yeah, it's there for you. But I totally understand what you meant. But no, we don't all stop at Starbucks. Where we are, we stop at Tim Hortons for your information, Chris, because he was making a comment about BMW riders. Come on, Chris. But yeah, I think your bike is named what is it called? Not Julie. It's not a girl's name. Don't remember, but yeah, it's a rough bike. I'm on the yeah. Okay, so you can cross the border and ride during the winter. Hmm. Um, and yeah, Lucy, yeah, and I tell the story on my website, but the story of my first bike is that when I was 16, I was obviously living in Belgium. And in Belgium, at 16, you were allowed to have a bike without having any license. So you have to be 18 to drive a car, but you can get a bike without any license at 16, but it has to be a 50cc. And at the time, talking, uh, so I was, we're talking 40 years ago, 40 years ago. So at the time, the kind of bike you would ride on the road in Belgium were dirt bikes. Uh, and so at 16, I told my parents, well, I'm getting a bike. And I had no one in my family who ever had the bike, no one to teach me how to ride. And so my first bike was a Honda ETX, um, 50cc, and it had a, how do you call that in English, like a kickstart. And that bike was so prime. And I had no one to teach me how to ride. I had no clue how to manage the clutch. And this bike was so prime that when I would try to put the first gear on, I would either stall, I think it's how you call it, or I would go on a wheelie. And I had no clue how to handle that. So the other gears were just fine, but the first one was really dangerous. I didn't know how to handle it. And so I would ride that bike on the road, and I was so dangerous. And because I didn't know how to, pass the first gear, I would not stop. So I would not stop at lights. And after a few months, I said, well, I'm going to kill myself. It's ridiculous. And I sold the bike. And it's only like 30 years later, 35 years later, that I had a friend who had a bike, a Harley, and I went backseat because between those years, I never went on a bike, after that. And within 5 minutes, I said, "Oh my God, it's like it came back to me." And the same year, I passed my test and I got my motorcycle license. So, yeah. Okay, you guys. Okay, I have another question. Do you need to do a transfer of your motorcycle information? I didn't have a motorcycle driving license when I was, what I told you about that bike in Belgium. I didn't have any license, so I got my motorcycle license here in Canada. But the driving the um, model driving license, there is an understanding between the government from Belgium to Canada, so I didn't have to do anything. They accept my driving license here. Then I got my Canadian motorcycle, well, my Quebec motorcycle license afterwards. And I don't know how it is, Raymond, if you're still there, maybe you can tell me, because I think that in the US, you don't really need to pass an exam, because here in Quebec, it takes about a year, the whole process. You have to go to a class to learn about all the rules. Then you have several months of practice where you really learn how to drive a bike. Then you have a test, quite a difficult one. Then you have to ride for 1 year with partners. At the time I was passing my test. And then you pass another exam. It's a really long process. But I think in the States, you just get a bike and that's pretty much it. Okay. Oh, see here. Well, I and everything this everybody decides for themselves. I know there is a lot of people riding motorcycle who take their kids with them, and it's just fine. I never did. I refused to. Um, I'm not taking that responsibility. And she was never really interested. I think on my very first buy, I took her for a ride, like in my street, but she was never really interested. Even if she was, I would never have taken her on my bike. So I know. And yeah, she's supposed to have how do you call that, a moped at 16. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. I she's gonna be able to do whatever she wants at 18. But I, for some reason, and I'm not. What do you call that in English? I'm not an overprotective mother, not at all. But in regards to that, yeah, kind of. Really, I think it's one of your daughter because I saw the bike. You bought a bike for your daughters, so they're not interested, huh? Hmm. So mine is not interested. She's gonna have a Muppet. That's I No, she's not interested in bikes. She's interested in cars, the kind who's gonna have a convertible or something like that. But she has no interest. In the US, you can take a computer test and a road test, or you can take 2 days. That's it. Not enough training for us, for sure. Yeah, it's a long process here. Moped or scooter. Yeah. Yeah, and when you see those videos on YouTube, yeah, you can see that they don't get a lot of training. Right? Yeah, and we have like really powerful sport bike. And even with all the classes I took, I mean, you're still learning every day. And I think that's the good thing about motorcycle traveling is that I find myself in situation. If I was only traveling in my area, I would only travel when it's not raining and it's the perfect situation and there is no construction zones. And but when you're traveling, you are forced to be in situation, and you have no choice. You have to, and you're learning so much. I mean, those past 2 trips, I've learned so much. I improved so much my skills because I was forced to go through those situations, and I just had to push myself, and it was very helpful for improving my skills. Okay, guys, it's the last call. Any last questions? And I really appreciate you being there. I really do. It's fun to get to talk to you. Chris says, especially with the over congestion on the streets today, it was very different when I was a kid, but today, yikes. Yeah. When I'm riding, when I'm commuting here in Quebec, I must look like a freak because I I literally, I swear, in my brain, I have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. In every few seconds, I reload my plans. This car does this thing, I'm gonna do this. This one does all the time. I am very defensive. I have an aggressive kind of style for writing, but very, very defensive. Like if I have to pass a truck, I'm gonna gun it. I'm never gonna stay next to a truck and, thanks for the live, Isabel. It's fun to hang out with the DNR crew. Thank you for being there. We will the channel very, very quickly. Thank you a lot. Yeah, and all of you guys have been there from the start. Because the first video blew up, and all my subscribers, I got them from the very first video, and you've been there from the very beginning. I really, really appreciate that. Well, thank you, Judith. So thank you all. I really appreciate you being there, and I'll see you. You're gonna see the first new style video in June, and you're gonna see me a lot in YouTube and other socials. So I have a little bit of outro. I'll see you guys. Thank you so much.